We have an executive order to recruit young men and boys to become role models. He wants to admit that in recent years, the left has turned its back on boys, embraced transsexuals, and now Newsom wants more men, hurly-gurly men, not prissy boys, which is counter to Mommy Mondani. So what's in the future? In California, maybe more viral men. In New York City, maybe more feminine men. I remind you of a quote: the difference between you and them is that you are you, they are they. The difference is the difference.
Get more Larry Connors on Larry Connors USA.
Tonight at 6 on News Talk STL.
Hi, I'm Jen Wallner.
And I'm Rodney Wallner with the Wallner Home Selling Team at Berkshire Hathaway.
Hey, Rodney, how do you sell your home for top dollar?
That's easy. Call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
What if I want a flexible commission rate?
Call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
When's the best time to sell your home?
Right now. Call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
For all your real estate needs, call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
That's 314-810-SOLD.
John Beal knows that right after a hailstorm, new roofing companies start popping up everywhere. But the Small Business Administration reports 96% of them go out of business within the first 5 years. So how good is that warranty? John Beal started in the roofing business, helping his granddad and his dad. Always offering the best roof, best price, best guarantee. John Beal Roofing, not some fly-by-the-night operation. Call my friend John, 1-800-NEW-ROOF, 1-800-NEW-ROOF. Cooking a pizza using coal? That's creating an amazing pizza. Only one place to get it. Napoli Brothers Pizza and Pasta in the district at Chesterfield. Try it. You can thank me later. Also, don't forget that Lit Cigar Lounge is just a few doors away. Top-of-the-line cigars and whiskeys. TVs in every direction. Watch your sports while enjoying your drink and smoke. LitSTL.com.
News Talk STL. This hour of the Allman Report brought to you by STL Fenceworks, celebrating 50 years of industry-leading service for fence, deck, and leisure space solutions. Visit STLFenceworks.com.
Give me land, lots of land under starry skies above. Don't fence me in. Let me ride through the wide open country that I love. Don't fence me in. Let me be by myself in the evening breeze. Listen to the murmur of the cottonwood trees. Send me off forever, but I ask you please. Don't fence me in. Don't fence me in. Just turn me loose, let me straddle my own saddle underneath the western skies. On my cayuse, let me wander over yonder till I see the mountains rise. I want to ride to the ridge where the west commences. Gaze at the moon until I lose my senses. I can't look at hobbles and I can't stand fences. Don't fence me in. Don't fence me in. Don't fence me in. Let me ride through the wide open country that I love. Don't fence me in.
Good afternoon, everyone, and happy Fancy Friday to all of you and yours. This is the Allman Report on News Talk STL. Jamie Allman here, Ashton over there. Beautiful day outside. Last I checked, it was like 77 degrees. And by the way, if you are traveling south on 270, your life is going to be just simply a waste of time. You are going to fritter this Friday away in traffic on 270 going south. There's no way out of it. And if you're in it, well, you're listening to the show, so I'll try to be as entertaining as possible, but you might as well just give up. You're trapped, and this is going to be your day for the next 2 hours or so. I don't know what it is. That whole area there, I'm telling you what, even at like 2:30 in the afternoon, 270 South is a nightmare. I don't know what it is about this town, because, but for some reason, like, everything is always being dug up someplace. It's like, what is going on here? Can't you guys go and like fix the tornado damaged houses in St. Louis and leave the damn highways alone or something? My goodness. And then if it's not that, these guys, I'm telling you, you're wondering, sometimes you're driving on 40 and you're wondering, what's going on? Like, why is it's 1:30 or at one point it was like 10:30 in the morning. What is happening? Until you finally realize it's about 4 of these big ass square street cleaner guys. And I guess somebody has to clean the highways, because we're deporting all the illegals. So who's going to clean that? No. But it turns out they're just like, and that literally is creating a traffic jam that is lasting like an hour and a half. And it's like, what is going on? At one point, I thought that maybe, because it's kind of an interesting concept, it may make a good movie or something. Like, we would, like there's some central place. Like, it's a command center, like, you know, the center that they had that launched that amazing rocket up into Mars, all up into Mars. But it's like some central facility where people will be controlling all the people who create annoyances for people everywhere. And so everything we're seeing that is annoying us is really just put there artificially in order to kind of make our lives miserable, to keep us all stressed out. That'd be I'd go see a movie like that. I remember we had to deal with the Obama cones. Remember those? Where we're going to build the roads, we're going to fix the highways, and we called them Obama cones because everything was always under construction. It was a crazy thing. Anyway, happy Fancy Friday to all of you. And yeah, boy, that food sounded good from Freddy's Market, except, I totally lost my appetite thinking of Hillary Clinton having sex. Yeah. I mean, of all the pieces of news, do you have to make me throw up in my mouth just having to deal with the idea that Hillary Clinton had a sexual affair with Vince Foster? Come on. I mean, and he winds up committing. So, I mean, is there really, I mean, I don't like to think of it this way, because I think it sounds sometimes conspiratorial or whatever. But if I didn't know any better, with these people all dying around the Clintons, I think I'm finally kind of in that mode where maybe they killed people. I don't know, but maybe they did. So we do remember Vince Foster, and these pieces came in through the Epstein file emails, which turned out to be a complete and total crock, as you know. So Jeffrey Epstein, and I'm not saying Epstein is a credible source of information necessarily. I don't even know what this guy was about, and plus, he sent it to another person who was absolutely lacking any credibility, and that's a journalist named Michael Wolff. And so in this email, it appears that Jeffrey Epstein is claiming that Hillary Clinton had a sexual relationship with the former White House counsel Vince Foster, and it talked about her doing a little bit of kind of dilly dallying with old Vince Foster, and I'm trying to think, well, boy, that Vince Foster is like an American hero for touching that, you know what I mean? But anyway, it is a conspiracy theory, and it is being entertained, and we'll see how it all works out. But none of this stuff seems to be in any way, shape, or form making any kind of sense. And Epstein is pretty much a dirtbag, and so we just don't know. I love this little bit. I love it when some of these pieces of tape wind up coming across my Facebook feed, and I always flag them because some of this stuff is really important. It's really interesting how back in the day, President Trump, at that time, Donald Trump, was seemingly always underestimated. For some reason they would interview him, but it was never really with any kind of consequence. It was like, oh, we're going to interview Donald Trump because he's a mogul and because he's this and a real estate guy and a rich guy and everything else. And people didn't realize that a lot of the things he was talking about, and this is way back in the day, I think this is like 1985 or something, when people just totally underestimated him and really how smart he was. Back in the day, I remember being slightly annoyed with him because he would call into Howard Stern's show and attack G.W. Bush, that kind of thing. And then until I realized later on that he was right. And I was just being annoyed because I was being flim-flammed by the Bush family. So, so he was right even when I thought he was wrong. Kind of crazy. Listen to him. I don't know why this isn't working. Is there nothing coming out? Huh. I don't know why. I'll have to figure that out off the air. Let's take a break. I'll figure it out when I am doing my breakage. So you guys are here at Common Sense Radio. It's the Allman Report on News Talk STL. Let me see if this works. I don't know. Maybe it does. Let's see if this works. Yeah, I'm not getting any sound here. I don't know why. Yeah, I'll see if I can consult with the great Joey. But this isn't plugged in. That's why it's actually unplugged. So, and I don't know where it plugs in. So, I have zero idea. Let me see.
Longest time. So many mornings.
Yeah. I'll be back anyway. This is Common Sense Radio on this fancy Friday.
Screaming my lungs out for you, not afraid to face it. I need you more than I want to, need you more than I want to. Show me.
News Talk STL.
First thing in the morning and pretty much all day.
Live and local. 1019 and 94.1. News Talk STL.
Ladies and gentlemen, getting a decent night's sleep is super important on any stretch of the level. So you got to make sure that it affects you in a variety of different ways. It affects you in, for instance, your weight. If you can believe this, people, sometimes when you're not getting enough sleep, and you're in a situation where your metabolism is slowing down, that kind of thing, then your body's like thinking that it's going to have to basically survive. It's going to, so it's starts storing fat and everything. So you can actually gain weight when you are in a situation where you're not getting enough sleep. So that can manifest itself in a variety of ways, not getting enough sleep. You can get it in the way of sleep apnea, where you're just stopping breathing all the time and doing whatever. And so you need CPAP, or you need some other mechanisms. Dr. Ogile has mouth guards and things like that are really going to do wonders for you as well. And so he'll take care of you, whether it be at the clinics or whether it be in a situation where you're at the he can just consult with you, and he can give you some kind of tools that you can do it organically on your own. Insomnia is another thing. And again, this does not require any kind of sleeping pills, medications, whatever. It's all about retraining you to get that beautiful night's sleep that you deserve. Restless leg syndrome, pediatric sleep problems. Dr. Ojal, longtime supporter of free common sense conservative radio, is there for you, ladies and gentlemen. And he's been a longtime supporter of the show, going on 20 years, aside from being my sleep guru. ClaytonSleep.com. That's ClaytonSleep.com.
News Talk STL is proud to have Doug Voss of Safe Money Radio as part of our lineup each week. Doug has been a staple on the St. Louis radio airways for many years as one of the leading financial experts in the area. You can now hear Doug and Safe Money Radio 2 times every weekend on News Talk STL. But in case you miss anything, you can check it all out at DougVossSafeMoneyRadio.com. You could also reach Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That's 844-676-7233.
Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through DHL Securities, LLLP, member FINRA and SIPC.
Hey, Mike Ferguson here. And for nearly 40 years, Nutrition Stop has been St. Peter's trusted source for natural living. They've got a great, knowledgeable staff offering more than just products. They provide guidance on your wellness journey with exceptional service, from 100% grass-fed meats like elk and bison and local produce to quality supplements and clean household products. 4101 Mexico Road in St. Peter's, just off the interstate at Cave Springs and Highway 70.
If you have a phone, you have a radio.
Download the all-new News Talk STL app.
Love the all-new News Talk STL app.
On my way to work in the morning.
Usually I'm in the car.
I listen on the app in my car every morning going to work.
Download the News Talk STL app and listen anytime, anywhere.
Good afternoon, everyone, and happy fancy Friday to all of you and yours. It's Common Sense Radio. It's the Allman Report on News Talk STL. Jamie Allman here, super excited to be with you. Ashton over there. What a beautiful day. I'm kind of... I'm on the fence about this because... I mean, and you guys know that, like, I really don't care what my neighbors think necessarily, you know? And so, like, I really don't bother with that kind of thing, but I feel like the weather's going to be so nice, I feel like I should be putting up Christmas decorations this weekend. Because everything's so... everything I do is so involved, and usually what I do is I assume that, you know, there's going to be like a decent kind of weather in early December or what have you, or after Thanksgiving or whatever. I usually don't get them all up until like around the 8th or 9th or 10th of December, because Christmas doesn't end on December 25th. I think a lot of people, and I've given this lecture before, but Christmas doesn't end until January, the Epiphany. It's the 5th or 6th, somewhere around there. So there's nothing more soul depleting than like seeing somebody dump a Christmas tree like on the 26th of December. It's like Christmas is just starting. So you're quitting before Christmas even begins. Doesn't make any sense to me. But then I'm thinking, well, so if they put them up this weekend, it'll be a full month and 2 weeks before. Well, no, it won't. It'll be almost a full month before actual Christmas. So I don't know. We'll see. make that decision. I'll make that call later on today when I see how I feel. But this might be the window that we've all been looking for to go ahead and do that. Speaking of your Christmas, don't forget, I've talked about this before with Grasser Electric. If you need some help in terms of making sure you don't short out the house like I have done, or blow a fuse, or do whatever, then make sure that you get Grasser Electric, because they can do that kind of stuff for you when you're configuring things and working things out. So check it out. All right, let's try this again with Donald Trump. So this is President Trump being interviewed by Mike Wallace, and people, and the headline here is that the experts have been underestimating Donald Trump since 1985. So, and like I said before too, I have kind of underestimated him a long time ago when he'd call into Howard Stern, he'd attack George Bush, I'd get all mad at him and everything else, and until I realized I was defending the wrong person, and so he just has been out there, and he's always made so much sense. And what really is interesting is nobody listened to him. So, he was speaking all these truths about the economy and about the country and about our security and all that kind of stuff. He was speaking all these truths, and yet none of the politicians were listening, although they probably were listening, but in the end, they were hoping nobody really was paying attention. Like, oh, there's Donald Trump. Okay, so he's a real estate mogul, and he'll, he talks a good game, whatever. But the political class, you had to know was listening, but they were keeping this dirty, dark secret about common sense and about how to actually make this country prosper, and how to make sure that we protected our manufacturing class and our borders and things like that. But as long as Donald Trump was just kind of like mouthing off on Oprah or on 60 Minutes or whatever, he was fine because he was right in that little compartment. And at that time, I think for a long time, we thought that it was the politicians that were right, because after all, they were elected, right? That's a U.S. senator, for crying out loud. How could he not be an expert? Until we really realized over the years that, and again, this is no offense to any elected official you guys like or what have you, but we realized that what we saw as an achievement, which was getting elected, is not an achievement. Hiring people is an achievement. Starting a business is an achievement. Being an amazing CEO is an achievement. Getting elected to an elected office is not an achievement. So, but what we did was we mixed it all up, and we kind of had this attitude that because this person was elected, they were automatically experts. And that whole mindset has really changed. It's really taken a totally different turn for those of us. That's not to say that I don't respect Josh Hawley or Bob, or these congressmen. That's not what I'm saying. But and keep in mind, a lot of these individuals, if all you've been doing all your life is holding public office, you are a lesser being, in my mind, than a person who came out of the private sector and everything else. And I think that's how a lot of people think. These guys like Dick Durbin the other day, even though I agree with him on the Schumer thing, these guys get out on the floor of the Senate and they brag about being in the Senate for 46 friggin' years. How could you possibly brag about that? You should be ashamed of yourself. You should be bragging about something like that. Chuck Schumer has been a U.S. Senator since 1982. I mean, when I graduated high school, practically. How is that an achievement? And I'm not just picking on Democrats. Mitch McConnell. I mean, my goodness gracious, these people are have not contributed anything to this society. It's really crazy. So anyway, back to Donald Trump. Here he is with Mike Wallace, 1985.
Better job at negotiating an arms control agreement with the Soviets than some of these professionals who've been trying to do it for years.
I didn't say me, Mike. I said somebody has to do it. If it were me, that'd be fine. I could do it. Somebody has to help this country. And if they don't, the country and the world are in big trouble. Because within a short period of time, as sure as we're sitting here, there's not going to be a country and there's not going to be a world.
I mean, that, and listen to this guy, and he's, and this is a peace. I mean, this is a guy who has created peace deals, basically in between meals. I mean, it's crazy. So interestingly enough, seemingly a lot of our attitudes about things have changed in a good way. What happened with Facebook, dear?
It kicked us off.
Oh, it did?
Joey said 248 countries.
Oh, 204. Oh, because of music?
I guess.
Oh, it must have been that music, huh? Are they putting us back on?
I'm gonna find out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, it had to be when we went during our last break, and I just threw that music up there. It was like some pop hit or something, and so I figured that they wound up kicking us off because of that, because that wasn't intentional. I just I threw it up there because we had to take a break because we were having some technical issues, and I guess we just kind of have to reload or do something of that nature. So anyway, so our attitudes have changed quite a bit. I mean, over the years, and I found this to be amazing. What do you guys, when you think of Maya Angelou, what do you think about? So I know that when I think of Maya Angelou, I think of liberal, right? Or I think of because who was always quoting Maya Angelou, right? It was like always like Hillary Clinton or was it Barack Obama during those times? And didn't Maya Angelou, didn't she do a poem or something at Barack Obama's inauguration? I can't remember, but all I'm saying is when you think of Maya Angelou, you think of liberalism, right? Well, I ran across this bit, which was really very interesting. And this is her on I don't know what television show this is. But she's on some kind of TV show in the 80s or something. It looks like maybe early 90s. And a girl is asking her a question, and and the girl addresses her by her first name, calls her Maya. Now, you all know, I guess I've known people who, their kids call them by their first names, and it really is creepy. And but I've known that just growing up, I've known people who their parents let the kids call them by their first name, which is totally outrageous and creepy. I don't know whether if you do that, I'm sorry, but just so you know, nobody respects that. So just in case you're one of those people and your kids call you by your first name in mixed company, the respect for you goes right into the toilet. I'm just letting you know that, just giving you an insight. So anyway, Maya Angelou decides that she's going to correct the kid who calls her Maya. It's really fascinating. And you talk about, we don't know, maybe she's a liberal as it relates to politics, but it just goes to show you that there are a lot of people aside from politics who have certain values that are common sense American values. And Maya Angelou is one of those.
Relationships.
Oh, thank you. And first, I'm Miss Angelo.
Miss Angelo.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not Maya. I'm 62 years old. I have lived so long and tried so hard that a young woman like you or any other you have no license to come up to me and call me by my first name. That's first. That's first.
I mean, that's pretty. I mean, that's a tough lesson to teach this little girl who obviously does respect her. Even you can tell, and she looks up to her. But imagine the kind of lesson that this girl is learning from Maya Angelou, or it's Angelo, I guess. I didn't know that, but yeah. And is in the kind of impact that she's having on this young girl. And I love the fact that she is brave enough in this case to tell her that without fear of coming across as some kind of jerk. Like she's being an adult teacher. And I don't know whether we really have enough of those. I think oftentimes people are, afraid of offending a kid or offending young people or coming across as a fuddy-duddy or whatever. But Maya Angelou's dead serious about this, and I'd love to ask this girl what, how that impacted her life going down the line, because I bet it really did in a really super hugely positive way.
Also because at the same time, I am your mother, I'm your auntie, I'm your teacher, I'm your professor. You see?
You just told her that she should call you Ms. Angelo.
Miss Angelo, Dr. Angelo, Professor Angelo, auntie.
Is that part of the problem?
And keep in mind, there are a lot of people, even now, who would think that that's pretentious of her to have said that. And like that she's full of herself or what have you. But the reality is that's not the case here. She's wanting to teach a young person about respect of your elders, which is really, really great. Look at you, Ashlyn, got us back on Facebook. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. Those of you just joining us on Facebook, we're talking about Maya Angelou, who addressed a young girl who called her Maya, and the rest is history. So I'd love to talk to her down the line and see what she said. And she was perfectly okay with this. But I guarantee you there's a certain part of this population that would think that that's pompous of Maya Angelou to say that, when in reality, she's giving this girl a gift to teach her respect of older people.
In this culture that we have, there's not enough discipline, there's not enough respect.
I only think that the children know only what we teach them. If there is something wrong in the generations, last two generations, which did not carry on the tradition. And I think this is true not just in the Black community, this is true in the white community, in all the communities. We have not taken the children to our knees and told them the truth. Darling, here's the way it is.
I love that. I mean, I just, there just aren't enough people on the planet like this. And I have to tell you that I haven't really operated that way. I mean, my kids would never call me by my first name. I know that. But I haven't really, like, well, occasionally in conversations that come up, where, we've had situations where, we've talked about the real world and that kind of stuff, but I really haven't, like, Natalie, let me tell you how the world is. I've never done that. And there are certain types of things that go along with your actions and how you teach your children. But I think Maya Angelou's onto something with this society where we just allow this, and then of course you really hit rock bottom when your kids are calling you by your first name. You are absolute rock bottom there. But anyway, like for instance, there are certain things that you teach them through your actions. I'll give you an example. So when Aiden or when Ethan was in the house, I would ask them to take the trash out, the garbage out. I would never ask my girls to take the trash out. Would never in a million years do it. That's not chauvinistic. That is teaching them that there are certain things that you are in a situation where that are just kind of accepted. That you open the door for them. For the women, you open the car door for them, no matter what, whether they're 10 years old or 60 years old, you open the car door for them. You don't allow them to mow the lawn. If you're home and a woman is mowing the lawn, you are, and I don't care what the excuses are, it shouldn't happen. But I teach the girls that, and believe me, there are times I have to admit, like for instance with Lily and Natalie, where they do create a lot of trash, and I have asked them, hey, if you don't mind, when you do throw something in the trash can, push it down just a little bit, because that Chick-fil-A bag it does not balance very well on the top of all the garbage, those kinds of things, right, Ashlyn? But they just lay it on the. I know, Julie. I figured Julie was going to flag me on that. It is true. Okay, you're right. Okay, she loves cutting the grass. I know. What am I? I'm like a chauvinist pig now at that point, right? I'm just saying, if there's a man around. Okay, never mind. And now I'm digging a hole and I'm crossing Julie, and I just don't want to, I don't want to go there. I forgot about Julie. So nonetheless, good. Jamie's going to let Julie mow the lawn. I'm going to give you dispensation. Pope Jamie is going to let you hereby proclaim that Julie moweth the lawneth whenever she wanteth to. Anyway, to my point, Maya Angelou's rocking it here, and I love her, even though I always thought Maya Angelou was like an Obama poet, and it turns out she's brilliant.
You live in direct relation to the poets, the heroes, and the sheroes you have. Always honor the elders. Then you honor yourself. Honor women. You honor yourself. Honor men. You honor yourselves. Watch your mouth. Watch what you say to another human being. Don't be so ready to be rude. You have to teach the children that people don't jump up out of cribs, baby cribs, and know that. So somebody has not done the right thing. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, so this all began, if you're just catching up, with Maya Angelou admonishing this girl for calling her Maya. And so this whole thing started. And it's interesting because do you think that Maya Angelou, do you think that she would approve of the reflexive name calling of the left in terms of calling people Nazis and fascists and things like that? Or even for that matter, commies. I don't know. And I think it's worth revisiting just the reflexive nature. I think a lot of it comes from the social media interaction that people have and everything else. I'm almost sure that if there was social media during the assassination of JFK, there would be people on social media saying he deserved it or good or what have you. So a lot of the whole Charlie Kirk stuff comes out of social media. I don't think people are necessarily any worse than they have been in the past. I think that they're just now typing it out. So, that's how it goes.
To Kim, I apologize for being so short. I apologize. I'm not usually so short.
Yeah.
It just caught me off guard. I saw you at 14. I thought, ooh. Well, but I apologize.
So she's 14 years old, and I guarantee you, I'd love to check back in with this person and figure it out what's going on. So it's a fancy Friday here, ladies and gentlemen. It's Common Sense Radio. A lot more where that came from. And it's a beautiful day outside. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Thanks for listening to the show. This is Common Sense Radio.
They tell me I'm too young to understand. They say I'm caught up in a dream. Well, life will pass me by if I don't open up my eyes. So that's fine by me. So wake me up when it's all over. When I'm wiser.
If you have a phone, you have a radio. Download the all-new News Talk STL app.
Love the all new News Talk STL app.
And listen anytime, anywhere.
Newsteaders Fine Jewelry, and wow, just love these individuals. Diana Newsteader is going to come into the show in a not too near future, distant future. Because we want to talk about Christmas. I know that people. I really do admire a lot of people who have all their Christmas shopping done. There are those kinds of people who actually have everything ready to rock and roll already. But let's face it, we kind of wait, and then we wait till it's like December 1st, and then suddenly it's the 12th, and so we're scrambling. You don't have to do that. You could walk into Newsteader's Fine Jewelry today, this weekend, and get it all taken care of, and you will be happy with what you see. We call it wowdiamonds.com for a reason. These diamonds are absolutely beautiful. When you go into the store, and by the way, over the door, God is welcome here is what it says. It's that kind of family, the Newsteaders family. It's a family-run operation and a beautiful one. God-fearing, loving, and really good at what they do. But you walk in, and there isn't really any special lighting in Newsteader's Fine Jewelry. They're Doherty Ferry and Big Bend. It's just that these diamonds just pop out of like nowhere in terms of their brightness and how they look, whether they be the lab-grown diamonds or the mine diamonds. They're absolutely gorgeous, and the brightness is almost like it's art. They almost look like, how are they doing this? That's how beautiful these are. Same thing with the gemstones. Anna will show you the rubies and the sapphires and these beautiful stones and things that you can do with it. It's really pretty amazing. And then you'll also be able to see the Bulova watch line. That's for the guys. Those are the Frank Sinatra Bulova watches. Those are great. They also have other just styles, sport styles of the Bulova watch as well. And all the gold you could possibly imagine. The gold is gorgeous, and plus it's back in style. And ask Diana about the stacker rings. Those are really cool. They're all the rage these days. And women like to kind of mix and match them. They're just thinner rings with the beautiful stones on them, but you can, decide how you want to configure them. And it's really kind of cool just to have stackers you can play around with your wardrobe. Check it out. wowdiamonds.com. That's wowdiamonds.com.
Public schools, like public libraries, should be free and open to all. Open enrollment allows parents to choose the school that's the best fit for their children. Maybe another school has a wider curriculum, is bigger or smaller. Maybe a kid is being bullied and would be more comfortable at another school. 75% of parents favor open enrollment. Open enrollment programs now exist in 43 states, and Missouri should join them. Our next-door neighbor, Kansas, has one of the strongest open enrollment policies in the nation. Kansas parents are trusted with choices and options, while Missouri parents must move out of their home to change public schools. And it's a trend. Nationwide, the percentage of students going to their chosen public school has steadily increased. Assigning kids to schools based on their zip code is the old way. Open enrollment is a better way. Learn more at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
This is Tony Colombo, and my favorite Capriati sandwich is the cheesesteak made with American Wagyu beef from Snake River Farms, and you have to include a side of their amazing fries. I love Capriati's, and you will too.
Open 9 to 9 daily on Manchester at McKnight in Rock Hill.
Why are you going to work? It's Sunday.
It's a brand new show on News Talk STL. JC's Sunday Showgram.
What's with this recent trend of stores giving us homework, plus the surprising outcome of a fender bender I had the last time the Cardinals won the World Series? Also, local station stunts and promotions gone awry, and another edition of It Sucked Then and It Sucks Now, all brought to you by the Weber Automotive Group.
Sunday morning, 7 to 9. Then podcast each Monday on newstalkstl.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Alan Link, owner of the Dental Link. You've heard ads about teeth in a day, but did you know that you'll be chewing on plastic, acrylic teeth? Here at the Dental Link, we can give you porcelain crown and bridge teeth utilizing mini dental implants that function much more like real teeth at about half the cost. Plus, mini dental implants are less invasive, less painful, and your recovery time is much shorter. Give us a call at 314-794-6464 or simply visit us today at thedentallink.com.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
Democrat shutdown's over. What's up for Congress next? Congressman Bob Onder at 420 will discuss.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps. Weekdays at 4 on News Talk STL.
If the trials in here are really getting you down, we had a close call.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Allman Report on News Talk STL this fancy Friday. Yeah, people. Oh, here's the other thing you need to teach your children is that you never buy guacamole. You never buy it. You just tell them that Jamie Allman will come over and make you guacamole if that's the case. If you're in that situation and you're buying guacamole, you should never do that. We've got plenty of peppers, tomatoes, things like that, and garlic. So I'll make it for you just to keep you from doing it, from buying guacamole. Good afternoon, everyone. Jamie Allman here, Ashlyn there, and do you realize it's so crazy sometimes when you realize how Democrats used to talk, and this is Barbara Jordan. Here's another older black woman who is wiser than any of these dumb white liberal dudes. By the way, did you hear Eric Swalwell? I mean, he's like in deep trouble. He might even be ineligible for to be serving in Congress. And I love how they all call this retribution or revenge or whatever. I mean, you guys do know what happened to Donald Trump to try to keep him from being president, right? You do know that, right? And now they're all like, I can't believe he's going after James Comey. It's like, you can't? How can you not believe it? And listen, I love all these conservatives. Well, I don't know. Well, just because they did it doesn't mean we should do it. It's like, yeah, if they're guilty, we should. Absolutely. If we have reason to, we should. I mean, this isn't time for your pearl-clutching salon republicanism. If they're good for it, get them. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, Barbara Jordan.
Is not a right guaranteed by the U.S.
Immigration is not a right guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution. That's what Barbara Jordan just said.
Constitution to everyone anywhere in the world who thinks they want to come to the United States.
And there are people in the audience clapping, if you can believe that. Like people like that did exist who voted for Democrats. And Barbara Jordan, of course, she's not a traitor to her race. the way so many other black politicians are who supported open borders? Because she knew what that was going to do to her community. Barbara Jordan, this is like in the 80s. So it was only about 20 years past the time where black people finally got the right to vote. So she knew what this was all about.
Immigration is a privilege. It is a privilege granted by the people of the United States to those we choose to admit.
Oh, what a xenophobe, huh?
Many American workers do not have adequate job prospects. We should make their task easier to find employment, not harder.
Nazi, fascist, xenophobe, racist.
This is Jeremy at Numbers USA.
I mean, that's Barbara Jordan. But man, a Republican talks like that now, and Donald Trump has talked like that, and somebody tried to kill him twice for it. It's pretty unbelievable. But man, those were the days, and there actually it wasn't only Barbara Jordan. You could dig up plenty of video of Barack Obama talking like that, and even for that matter, Hillary Clinton. The only problem with that is you got to mention her name, and then you got to think of her having sex with Vince Foster, and then you're throwing up a little bit in your mouth, and your lunch is ruined. So I don't want you to think about that part of it. And you have to understand, too, it's a fancy Friday. And it's Common Sense Radio. And it's the Allman Report on News Talk STL.
Looks like the tide is going home.
Hi, it's Chris Arps, and I've been a customer of Royal Banks, Missouri for many years. They're a full-service, locally owned and operated community bank with 17 locations throughout the St. Louis area, including locations in Hannibal, Jerseyville, Granite City, as well as 2 locations in St. Charles. Plus, given today's headlines in the overall banking industry, it is reassuring to know Royal Banks, Missouri has the highest financial ratings in St. Louis for stability and strength. Royal Banks, Missouri is reinvesting in its hometown University City. They've now opened the doors to their new location at 8550 Olive Boulevard at the corner of Olive and McKnight. Stop by to see their refreshed look with the same exceptional Royal Bank service you know and trust. Learn more about the move in University City by visiting royalbanksofmo.com today. That's Royal Banks of Missouri, the community bank for your community. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
PRI Global now has Prismatic, an AI-driven platform that can help you and your business, especially in construction. Simplify your operations, secure data, modernize your business from the cloud up. Visit PRIGlobal.com. Innovation with talent and technology. People, process, platform. PRI Global delivers all three. Check them out. PRIGlobal.com. PRIGlobal.com.
Hello, Kirk Hilsinger, Chairman of the Republican Party, City of St. Louis. Join us for our Christmas party on December 11th. Tickets may be purchased by cash or check, or you may purchase tickets through our website at stl-gop.com. We'll have dinner and silent auction. In addition, we will be collecting donations for Toys for Tots. So bring an unwrapped toy for a family in need. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and we look forward to fighting for you in 2026.
Paid for by St. Louis City Republican PAC. Curtis Farber, Treasurer.
KLGY HD3 Clay, K270BW Belfast, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
Breaking news at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. The longest government shutdown in U.S. history may be officially over, but as Karen Chamis reports, it's taking a while to get things back up and running.
The disruption of the closure, clocking in at 43 days, ranged in the impact it had on people. Federal workers who were immediately and directly affected are returning to their jobs. Flight disruptions will continue at some of the nation's airports. Some states say some recipients of food aid through the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, received their full monthly benefits, but others may have to wait up to a week. 2 of the Smithsonian's museums reopened on Friday, and the rest will reopen by Monday. I'm Karen Chamas.
Russia has launched a major missile and drone attack on Kiev, killing at least 6 people and injuring close to 40. We get an update from the BBC's James Landing.
There was a pretty substantive attack that lasted several hours. President Zelensky this morning said that 430 drones were involved and 18 missiles, many of them ballistic. It was definitely across the city. We could see explosions on the horizon here, but we could also see missiles and drones flying over above us here in the center of the city.
America's most advanced aircraft carrier is expected to reach waters off of Venezuela in coming days. Here's White House correspondent Greg Cluxton.
The USS Gerald R. Ford is being deployed after the Trump administration said the U.S. is in an armed conflict with drug cartels. It's a major flex of American military power in the region. Since early September, the U.S. military has carried out 19 deadly strikes against alleged drug smuggling boats in the Caribbean, killing 76 people. Greg Clugston, Washington.
On Wall Street, it has been a struggle for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Right now, it is off by about 185 points. The other major index is doing much better. The NASDAQ is up about 100. This is townhall.com.
Hey, it's Mike Gallagher, host of the Mike Gallagher Show. I don't mess around when it comes to saving your money. Right now, rates have dropped to the lowest level in over a year and a half. That means if you bought your home or refinanced in the last 3 years, you could be saving hundreds of dollars every month. Lower your rate, lower your monthly payment, even kick that pesky PMI to the curb. And get this, you can skip 2 full months of mortgage payments. But that's not all. Fellowship Home Loans just rolled out something incredible. Their very own HELOC and lines of credit. Approval in just 5 minutes. Money in your account in as little as 4 days. It's the easiest system you've ever used. You can do it yourself online. Whether you want to pay off bills, tackle a home project, cover education, or even a wedding, Fellowship Home Loans makes it simple to leverage the money that's already sitting in your house. Just go to fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, or call 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-6453. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending guided by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 819382.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Rodney and Jen Wallner and the entire Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway. Call them today at 314-810-SOLD. 314-810-SOLD. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Sunny skies and warm temperatures today in the mid to upper 70s. The record high today and Saturday is 81. I don't think we'll reach that, but we're going to get pretty close. Some really nice weather. Lows tonight near 60. The high on Saturday in the upper 70s, about 78 degrees, cloudy at times. And it turns cooler on Sunday with a high near 60. I'm KMOV First Alert meteorologist Kent Earhart.
Want to work with a winner? Follow the multiplier. 279 times growth in total market cap in the past nearly 30 years. 50 times growth in client assets, and ranked the #1 wealth management firm for employee advisor satisfaction by J.D. Power 3 years in a row. Choose a winner. Choose Stifel, where success meets success. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE. For J.D. Power 2025 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Want to hear the best kept secret in St. Louis? Steph's Pizza. We're not afraid to compare squares. According to our customers, we have the best St. Louis style pizza anywhere, and we can't disagree. Dine in, pick up, or delivery in St. Peter's, St. Charles, Lake St. Louis on Confort Trail, and the original Stefanina's in O'Fallon on Veterans Memorial Parkway. Check us out at Steph'sPizza.com. Steph's Pizza. We're not afraid to compare squares.
And then the media.
1019 and 94.1.
They lying about what's going on in America. They lying about it.
News Talk STL.
Now I've been happy lately, thinking about the good things to come. And I believe it could be something good has begun. Oh, I've been smiling lately, dreaming about the world as one.
Good afternoon, everyone, and happy fancy Friday to all of you and yours. It's Common Sense Radio. Gorgeous day outside, beautiful, my kind of weather. Yo, Brian Glenn, White House correspondent. for Real America's Voice is on the Facebook page. Happy Friday to you too, brother. You want to come on the show? I was thinking about you this week. Want us to call you? Yeah. Cool when that happens. Let me see if he's there. I'll text you. But why am I texting you when I can talk to you? On a plane. He's on a plane. Okay, that's fine. Well, buddy, you're great. I hope you say a great hello to Marjorie Taylor Greene as well, and appreciate all that you were doing. These are great times, and you are a great present. Are you right next to MTG? Wow, dude. Well, make sure you tell her hello, and that we here in St. Louis, I know you guys can't talk, it's fine. We here in St. Louis love her moxie. Love the fact that she is brave enough to get out there, disagree with President Trump at times when she feels she wants to and needs to, and so we appreciate her. So those of us out here, we're not really in the political class, and I realize President Trump at one point said she's lost her way or whatever. He you know how that is, but but that's not true, and none of us believe it. And with one thing about the greatness of the Make America Great Again generation is that it's kind of like we have fought so hard to be where we are that there's no ripple that could possibly make us unsteady. So, and people are always shocked by all that because they're kind of like, why aren't you mad? Or why aren't you upset about this or whatever Trump did or whatever somebody did? And, that, and we're like, well, because it's fine. We're going to have disagreements about things. We're going to have things that happen, and we're going to get through it because we've got bigger fish to fry, as Marjorie Taylor Greene just said to Brian. He conveyed that. She just said she's America only. I mean, it's not, we're Make America Great Again, but we're also America only. And we busted our rear ends. And Marjorie Taylor Greene was one of those people, by the way. Brian Glenn is another one. And you guys are other ones. You guys busted your butts for this election and for where we are right now. And so you've earned the right to be, and I don't like to talk about, it's my right, but you know what I mean? You've earned your place. You have the cred to say something that isn't always in line with everything else. And we all don't care. So, we're kind of like, we're in the, we love Marjorie Taylor Greene and we love President Trump category, and that's where we are. And you can't take us. I know people want to divide us. You see all this stuff that's going on with all this Tucker Carlson stuff and all the Ben Shapiro crap. Everybody is like preying on all of this discord when we don't care. We just go about our business, do our thing. We fought really hard for this. It's not unlike, for instance, let's just pretend that you had a relationship and your relationship was really rocky. You guys went through all this stuff and you guys been to hell and back. So the way that partner choose their food isn't going to be as big of a deal, right? As it might be when you're all so comfortable and you're all, this, and there's no discord or whatever. Believe me, the human in us sometimes just can never be happy. We're always like looking for something to be crabby about, something to crab about, whatever. And the reality is, let's let the people who are important to us play it out and do what they're doing and love them all the same. And that's pretty much the way we are. Brian Glenn, thank you very much for coming on and giving me the opportunity to soapbox on this whole thing. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is presumably sitting next to you on the plane, thank you for everything that you're doing. Can't wait to have you on the show at some point, and hopefully that will be soon. All right, so speaking of Tucker Carlson, I was going to bring this up here, and I mean, I get it. I mean, I think he, at one point, I don't know what he did. Was he praising some guy or criticizing some guy who killed Hitler? I mean, this gets so tiring after a while. I can't keep up, and none of you care. So that's why I don't ever get involved in these little pissing matches with Ben Shapiro and Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens and Megyn Kelly and all the cool kids in high school. I'm just like, because most of you don't care either. So that's just how that goes. So I'm going to, I don't care whether Tucker Carlson interviewed Nick Fuentes. I'm going to relay to you information he has now on this. And so I'm moving ahead here. Tucker Carlson announcing his findings related to the assassination attempt of President Trump in Butler. He's going to do that tonight. And we have a list of certain things that are still unanswered, some questions that are still unanswered. Steve Bannon shared this tweet coming from Tucker Carlson, and he says, the FBI told us Thomas Crooks tried to kill Donald Trump last summer, but somehow had no online footprint. The FBI lied, and we can prove it because we have his posts. The question is why? And he's going to be doing that on Friday. So here is one thing about this assassination deal that really stands out, but then suddenly didn't get any attention after it was debunked. Do you guys remember that the federal authorities, and I actually don't know whether it was the FBI or whatever, but at some point they were claiming that this punk, Thomas Crooks, was an accomplished rifleman. He was in the rifle club in high school, which is, because when all of us were like, how can he have been that great of a shot? Which, I mean, how could he do that from that roof there and everything else? Well, he was in the rifle club until, you know what happened? The coach of the rifle club came and said, he's never been on this team. He's never been part of this whole thing. We've never done that. So there's another one that was just absolutely blown out of the water. And then it was like, well, nothing to see here. Never mind. And it's like, well, wait a minute, though, because apparently there were some people who were trying to, fill in the blanks of all that all of us had about how Thomas Crooks could possibly do this by himself and also without detection. Whatever. I mean, there's still so much here. And I'm glad Tucker Carlson is addressing it. Let's look at in these people, and it's not only Steve Bannon, Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, and Elon Musk are involved in all this as well. So this is what's important now. And here's what some of the inconsistencies are. The assassin's house was professionally scrubbed. So someone went in and basically scrubbed the home. This home was scrubbed so well, there wasn't even silverware left in the home. No footprint on the internet. No social media footprint. It was completely wiped. He was in a BlackRock commercial. Joe Rogan says some individuals inside BlackRock may have recognized that it's beneficial to them if Trump gets assassinated. There was never a formal report, and there still isn't a formal report on this. There was never a press conference where they detailed all the information they know. He's a young kid there with a rangefinder. Okay, so generally you're not going to even, you're going to be young like that, and you're going to be but you're not going to really have a rangefinder. CNN streamed it live, which Joe Rogan does not believe they did for any other rally. That's creepy, and I don't know whether that's all true or what have you, but they streamed it live. And they said Rogan is pointing out they did not do that for any other rally, and certainly not for a rally that's in the middle of nowhere in Pennsylvania. Pretty crazy, huh? They wouldn't let people be on the roof because the Secret Service lady said it was sloped and it was dangerous. You remember that, right? Remember all the memes that went out there where they had like cows superimposed onto the roof and all this kind of stuff. And the Secret Service person said it was sloped and dangerous. That's why they didn't have anybody on the roof. And of course, that's not true. The snipers that were on the other roof, this is a terribly written article. I'm reading from it, which is, I'm humiliated because I'm reading somebody else's awful writing. So I apologize to you, and please forgive me. The snipers who were on the roof, on the other roof, a steeper pitch, so it was even steeper than the other one. Random people saw him and pointed him out on the roof with a gun for a long time before actually the assassination happened. He had 5 phones. The assassin had 5 phones. There are people that have 2 phones. Those kind of people. We get those people. Everybody knows somebody with 2 phones, but not 5. His body was cremated right away. Like, how does that happen? How did they just, oh, he's dead, cart him off and incinerate him? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. There was some indication that there was a phone that had been traveling from outside the FBI offices in D.C. to where this kid lived multiple times. So this is just unbelievable. And so they're trying to figure out also about the identification of the actual shooter, the formal identification. How was Thomas Matthew Crooks identified, either by the Butler County coroner or the Allegheny County medical examiner? The fact is, the document that has been made public by the coroner is incorrect. Contrary to July 13th being the day the Butler County coroner viewed the body of the alleged shooter, Coroner Young, his name, did not view the body of the alleged shooter that lay on the Ag building until 6 a.m. on July 14th. So he wasn't even viewed by a coroner for almost a full day. So it'll be really interesting to see how this is all. This is how this is is going to flesh out on Tucker's show tonight. Crooks's parents, who are behavioral health experts, so his parents are behavioral health experts, failed to realize he was building bombs in his basement bedroom. Crooks's father told investigators that within a year of the shooting, he had observed his son dancing in his bedroom throughout the night. So, I mean, this is all not making any sense. I'm surprised that, and here's the other thing, and this is going to be the problem, is that every time somebody criticizes the FBI, Dan Bongino goes ape over the whole thing and goes on a temper tantrum tear. Sometimes he's correct in doing that. I think with Thomas Massey he was. But it's kind of like, can we just get some information here and figure out what's going on here and get somebody to investigate this thing? And I'm actually a little surprised. And I don't know, though. Maybe President Trump is, because I'm not with him all the time. But I'm a little surprised that President Trump isn't more hell-bent on getting some information. But, you know, maybe he's too busy creating world peace and prosperity and help for foster kids. I don't know. I don't want to keep on piling things on his plate, but this is Common Sense Radio. It's the Allman Report on News Talk STL. Happy Fancy Friday on this 3 Martini lunch hour.
Come on, peace train. Hey, yes, it's the peace train.
I think we should be able to have a civil conversation.
The news and talk that matters to St. Louis.
This conversation has completely made me crazy.
This is complete insanity.
News Talk STL.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, the Walner home selling team of Berkshire Hathaway, just an amazing group of people. I should know because I am part of them. And this is absolutely a wonderful outfit. Rodney and Jen are great people. And I am kind of new to the game, but I just thought, wow, what a privilege it is to work with them, buying homes, and working with wonderful people all throughout the community. Just got somebody into a home the other day, which is great. Today, I'm going to a home in Webster Groves and giving them advice on how to list their home and what they're going to do. And we're the number one home selling team in the Berkshire Hathaway network all throughout Missouri. So we're really good at this. And I've been mostly doing buyer's agency. I'll fight for you for the best price for your home, all that other stuff. And I'm good at negotiating all the inspections, all that kind of stuff, and getting the job done for you to get you into your dream home. Selling wise, we create a great competition for your home. So we spend money to market the home, and then we let people fight over it and get the best price for you. 314-810-SOLD. That's 314-810-SOLD.
This holiday season, help Feed My People fill the shelves. News Talk STL and the STL County GOP are partnering for an annual food drive, November 10th through December 21st. Drop off your non-perishable food donations at all Bartolino's restaurants, all Chris's Pancakes and dining locations, and all 3 Michael's flooring outlets, or at the News Talk STL studios.
Hey, it's Larry Connors, and together we can make a difference for families in need.
Visit newstalkstl.com for complete drop-off locations.
Hi, it's Mark Harder with RE/MAX Results, the largest RE/MAX franchise in the region. The summer housing market is hot, and the fall market looks to be as hot. If buying or selling a home is in your future, it is time to act now. Someday is not a day on the calendar, but today is. Call me, Mark Harder, for fast results. RE/MAX Results, 314-852-8933, 314-852-8933, and start packing.
News, analysis, opinion.
Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries have given in to the far-left progressive base.
Has Mamdani won the soul of the Democrat Party?
101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
How'd that happen so fast? I was just curious because I ran across, I was going to play this and I was just busy doing stuff. And so I didn't really get you guys some fresh music. I'm terribly sorry for that. And so please forgive me. So let's play some Chili Whack. Why, shall we? For this fancy Friday? I remember this. This is
Band
This is just as a little bit right before my bong hitting days. 1976, people. So I'd have been 13. I started bonging when I was about, I better not say, I was about 15. Oh, I have this story to tell because my mom, this is fun, a fun story. This is, and I'm not saying I was like a drug addict or anything. I'm just saying it was the 70s, people. Come on. So this is a great story about my mom. So my mom was not like was not a disciplinarian, but she knew how to extract good behavior. So, okay, hang on. I gotta get back to this woman. Hang on. So, my mom was not a staunch disciplinarian, but she knew how to extract good behavior, and so subtly. And oftentimes, like I remember one time, and again, this is the 70s. So I remember one time I was caught streaking. Me and my friends were streaking. And that was back in the 70s when streaking was a thing, you know? So we were like, I think we were like in high school. We were like freshmen in high school or something. So me and about 4 of our friends were streaking on Jackson right there in U City. And, you know, I don't know. You remember people used to do all that all the time? Ashton, did you ever hear of streaking? Like that was a thing. Okay, in the 70s, well, you guys you guys know what I'm talking about. So people just would run naked onto ball fields, and that was called street or through airports. There was even a song. I wish I didn't prepare to tell you the story for some reason, but there's even a song called "The Streak." I'm not kidding you. Hang on. Let me see if I can find it real quickly. This is a long way to go, but yeah, it was Ray Stevens. Oh, yes, they call him the Streak. Yeah. Hold on a second. Let me see. It's just my luck. It's going to be like full of a bunch of cuss words or something. Let me see if I can get it. I hate the internet sometimes. Let me see here.
Well, yes, they call him the Streak. Fastest thing on 2 feet. He's just as proud as he can be of his anatomy. He gonna give us a peek.
You get it? If they call him the Streak. This is back in the day when like people would actually listen to songs like Convoy. You know what I mean? Like it would actually play on the radio. Oh, Convoy. We got a convoy. It's like, you got to be kidding me. Like the worst song on the planet. And don't you people show up on Facebook talking about, no, Convoy. No. Convoy and The Night Chicago Died and Run, Joey, Run, The Streak, all these things you need to put into the 70s trash heap. But anyway. So they even made a song about it, and everybody thought that was so amazing, you know, a song about streaking. And so anyway, we were caught streaking, and you know how we got caught? Because we all ran in the middle of the street in front of a police officer who summarily chased us down, and we climbed the fence and did all this kind of escaped, but not for long because of course, one of our guys, Randy, who always told on everybody, We called him Holy Joe. They caught him, and he ratted all of us out and took the police right to the house where we were spending the night. And so nothing happened. My friend Dave got in big trouble. Like his dad was pretty hardcore, and he got in some deep trouble. I went home the next morning, because it was like 2 a.m. or so. We were all going to go home then. So I went home the next morning, and my mom was getting ready. I'll never forget this. My mom was getting ready in the bathroom, and she was putting on her makeup. I think she's like putting on eyeliner or whatever, and I told her, I said, well, I want to let you know that we got caught streaking last night. And she laughed and never stopped putting her makeup on and said, don't do that again. Or don't do that again. I'm like, okay. And I never did do it again. So her style was a lot different. And then fast forward to the other thing that we did. My sister and I were very close, Beth. She's 2 years older than I am. And we were a couple of potheads. And we had the wise idea on the third floor of our house on Cornell in U City. We had the wise idea of growing a pot plant in the bathtub upstairs with a ultraviolet light. So we were growing inside. We thought that was really cool, and we were growing a pot plant. And then one day, we came home and the pot plant was gone. And so was the light. And Beth and I, this is great about my mom. Like there was never another word said about it. Like we weren't going to go and like say, Mom, where's my pot plant? We weren't going to do that, right? And my mom knew we weren't going to do that. But she also knew that we knew that she took that thing and threw it in the trash, and none of us ever said a word about it again. Nor did we ever grow pot plants again. But we knew that because my mom wasn't going to sit there and waste her time berating us for growing a pot plant. She just took it, and that was message received, and so that was how that all worked out. And Beth, my mom was almost daring us to complain that she took our pot plant, and of course we never did. We were smarter than that. That's for sure. And yeah, Phil, my older sister, Beth, yeah, she was a bad, definitely. I wouldn't blame her for everything because I was her little bro, man. I hung out with her all the time. I loved her, hanging out with her, and I was her friends. I was usually just brought in to entertain her and her friends, because that's what I would do. I'd just kind of run my mouth for ever and ever. Just they'd wind me up, and I'd just talk and make them laugh, and then that was my sole duty. I often like to say that and I didn't say this obviously in mixed company, but I did tell her this. I said, because we had 4 older siblings, right? And then there was this big 6-year gap between my 4 older siblings and then Beth. And then, and I always said that Beth was an accident, and that they couldn't figure out like what to do with like this one baby. So they actually manufactured me to be born to play with her, to have something for her to occupy herself with. So I was basically born as a doll. So I always figure like I have nothing to lose, because I was actually purposely created to play with my sister, and be beaten by her at games. So that's pretty much it. Yeah. So I can't lose. All right, here we go. I don't even know how I got into that. How did I get into that? I don't know. I was talking about discipline or something. Oh, no, Chili Whack. That's right. Okay. I usually am better at leaving crumbs to where I began and where I didn't begin. It's a fancy Friday. What else do you want me to talk about? Donald Trump? Eric Swalwell? Okay, I will. I'll get to that. Hey, listen to this. This is really cool. I mean, because there are a lot of people who think like the Bible is just made up and just a bunch of people, just a bunch of beards writing stuff and doing all this kind of stuff. But that's apparently that's not the case. This is coming to us from Fox News. A group of excavators recently uncovered the first ever Assyrian inscription found in Jerusalem, shedding light on ancient power struggles described in the Bible. The inscription, which was carved on a small pottery fragment, was uncovered at the Zurim Valley National Park in East Jerusalem. The Israeli Antiquities Authority announced this finding in later October. Though the fragment was unearthed in the Zurim Valley, it was originally part of rubble near the Western Wall, beside the Temple Mount. The inscription belonged to the Assyrian civilization, the dominant empire in the Middle East during the time of biblical kings. The Assyrians ruled much of the Near East from the 9th to the 7th centuries BC before Nineveh, their capital, fell. The inscription was written in Akkadian and dates back 2,700 years, according to officials, which is pretty cool. And so what you're seeing is basically is just a lot of this really cool stuff that they have uncovered, and it proves that some of what is in the Bible is true, that there were these warring kings. The inscription provides rare evidence of correspondence between the court of the king of Assyria and the king of Judah. Tiny, extremely rare, and historic. And so it was actual writing. And these people were all went crazy and couldn't believe that so basically the inscription, even though it's small, is actually a recording inscription wise of an exchange between these two kings, like a conversation between these two kings. And so this is complicated, but historians say that there's a thing called a royal bulla or seal impression that was used to convey a message, because they didn't have, obviously all these emails and things like that. The inscription specifies a deadline, specifically the first day of the month of Av, and mentions a chariot officer, according to the experts. Although the fragment does not include the name of the king of Judah to whom the message was addressed, its chronological context and partial text suggest it was sent to the court of one of the Judean kings, Hezekiah, Manasseh, or Josiah, early in his reign, where Judah was a vassal kingdom under Assyria. While we cannot determine whether the delay was technical or politically motivated, the very existence of such an official message may indicate a point of tension between Judah and the imperial administration. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. If you guys were high, you'd like obsess over that. But it's too early for that. It's 1:40. This is ready to go. Wow, man. Yeah. Need to read more about that. This is Common Sense Radio. It's a fancy Friday. Happy one, everybody.
Hey, it's Vic Porcelli here with our great friend Chris Cooper from Serenity Wealth Management. Hi, Chris.
How are you, Vic?
I don't want to put anybody else down, but that when you go up and visit you at Serenity Wealth, your place looks like home.
So a lot of financial advisory offices, they have, the big mahogany desk or the big marble entryways and things like that. The stock market channel on the TV when you walk in the door, right? That doesn't really drive a good conversation. Good financial guidance and advice starts with a good conversation. People are nervous. People are afraid to talk about finances, right? And so you can see a little standoffish. Well, my objective is to try to have a good casual conversation. By having those conversations about life, goals, objectives, it's what makes me understand what our financials are supposed to fund.
So if somebody does want to have a good conversation, how do they do that? How do they find you?
Our website is the best way to do that because you can get all the information you need, understand where we are, get a little bit more information, all that. SerenityWealthNow.com.
Reach out to Chris and Stacy today at SerenityWealthNow.com.
Investment advice offered through Fortis Capital Advisors, LLC.
Concerned about the condition of your windows driving up your energy bills? I was too. It's only called STL Windows and Doors. Their Provia windows combine old world craftsmanship the professional way, the Provia way, with over 65 years of combined experience, locally owned, offering competitive pricing and personalized service that the big box companies can't match. Call today for your free in-home estimate and start saving tomorrow. 314-277-5952 or stlwindowsanddoors.com.
On the next Larry Connors USA.
Today's story behind the story, the 65-mile-long nighttime tornado.
Larry Connors USA. Now weeknights 6 until 8 on News Talk STL.
Oh, 101 Straight Up is declaring that your music bumps are way louder than your broadcast, Jamie. Kind of like super loud TV commercials suddenly blasting the ears. Just saying. I don't know anything about that technical part of it. I'll have to ask Joey. Ashton, do you know anything about how that works? No idea.
I think it's the volume meters.
Oh. Yeah. So I guess what happens is when I take a break or something and we're playing the music, it's like ultra loud. But thanks for the tip, my friend. I appreciate that. And we want a clean broadcast. We want one that is pleasing to your ears. That's how we work here. We're here to please. I can tell I must be getting old because I have a story for everything. So there must be some kind of problem now. And I've compiled, so I can't even play David Bowie without telling the quick story about how Young Americans was one of my first ever albums I bought as a result of my paper route. I'm so proud of it. So I went down to the record store. I think it was Street Side or somewhere right down near Boyd's and Famous Bar in Clayton. I walked from my house, only about a mile and a half or something. I walked to the store and got it. I'll never forget the David Bowie thing. Bought Young Americans and then put it in the bag. It was like, I don't know, the album was it was like $7. I can't remember how much it was. It was kind of expensive, but anyway, I put it in my bag, walked up, and this is how innocent everything was back in the day. And I was confronted by these guys from Clayton. Because back in the day, we, like U City guys and Clayton guys, were like rival gangs almost, we just despised each other. And so I'm walking, and these guys show up out of nowhere, and they start shooting. I kid you not. They had these rubber bands, and they're shooting, those folded little hard pieces of paper, those little hard pieces of paper. They start shooting these things at my bag with my album in it. Like that, and that was the extent of it. I was like, "Get out of here!" Yeah, and then they left. But they're like, they shot at my bag because obviously probably jealous that I was a wealthy magnate paper boy who was able to buy a record when they had to ask their parents for money, probably, knowing Clayton guys who didn't work for a living. They were all wealthy and had central air conditioning and all that kind of stuff. So they never had to work a day in their life, but us U City boys did. So I had to, and they shot these things that are my, at my bag, like to try to break the bag or something. I have no idea, but anyway, that was the gang attack that I was subjected to on my way home from buying David Bowie. All right, this Katie Couric thing. Is there with John Fetterman? Apparently, Fetterman's doing okay. He fell or something, but can you believe how the left, when you're apparently not evil enough, like when you're not bad enough, they will turn on you. Like when you're not vile, disgusting, and dark enough, and you dare say anything about the border or anything like that, they will turn on you. John Fetterman is a liberal. Fetterman is never going to be anything but a Democrat. I mean, that's just the way it is. Oh, hey, Pam, I know I'm a Clayton girl. Well, Pam, let me tell you something. My girlfriends were from Clayton. You know what I was saying? So, and that made the Clayton guys even worse because most of my girlfriends were from Clayton when I was younger. And the fact that I had two choices in U City. I would either date a black girl or a Jewish girl, and I didn't mind either one, but I never really dated a black girl. I did run for class president with one, but Phyllis. But black girls at that time, they weren't dating white guys anyway. And white guys weren't. I mean, we were just too. And plus, I was outnumbered in school. I was 80% black where I was going to school. And then a lot when I was particularly younger, Jewish girls who wouldn't go near the goyim. You know what I mean? You know, like they dated. They were with Jewish guys. They rarely dated, people like me. So I had to go and graze off of the Clayton girl population, which made all the Clayton guys mad. But the fact of the matter is, Clayton girls loved people like you city guys because we actually worked and had money. So if we wanted to buy them an ice cream cone or a soda or something at the pool, we could do that. But the Clayton boys had to ask their parents for money. So the Clayton girls. So I had a couple of girlfriends from Clayton. They were usually super cool and very sophisticated. They were cosmopolitan, good old Clayton. So anyway, Pam, I know you're a Clayton girl. I've always worked. That's the difference. The Clayton boys never worked, and the Clayton girls and the U City boys did. And so that's the way it goes. All right. So anyway, John Fetterman is an absolute liberal, and that's just how it is, and so he's always going to be so. But that doesn't even get him any kind of safe passage with the darkness of the liberals and the left. It's really crazy. Like you'd think he would have some degree of cred, It's kind of like what I was talking about with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a conservative. And so you'll notice that at least most of us aren't turning on her when she disagrees with President Trump or anybody else. You know why? Because she has that credibility. She has safe passage through the MAGA generation because of her commitment and her already established moxie and strength and intelligence. Fetterman is owed the same thing almost. He should be. Fetterman is a dyed-in-the-wool liberal. He's a Pennsylvania liberal, which is different than a another liberal. Like my mom was born in Pennsylvania. My mom's a Pennsylvanian, and she was a Pennsylvanian liberal. And my mom wasn't a crazy left winger, and so Fetterman deserves more than he got from Katie Couric when literally she was insinuating that he should be, basically celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. Katie Couric, by the way, has always been, I don't mean to be mean here, but I don't know whose pants she unzipped, but that woman had no business being the host of the Today Show. She had so little talent. She was always nervous, and she had this weird monotone delivery that you're going to pick up on here. So I can't imagine a more talentless woman getting to the levels that she got. So I don't know what she did, but there's no way it was organic. So anyway, Katie Couric is I think like Jane Pauley was the top shelf. You know what I mean? Jane Pauley, I don't care what her politics are. Jane Pauley, she was well put together, had a bunch of talent, everything else. Katie Couric was like totally like B team, in terms of journalism. So you'll pick up on this. And this is how it went.
You think that flag should have been flown at half staff? Do you think his body should have been flown on Air Force Two? Do you think he should have posthumously be given the Presidential Medal of Freedom?
Can you how long can you listen to that robot talking like this without any kind of inflection in her voice at all? And she's just going to ask John. I mean, honestly, people, seriously. But listen to what she has to say.
I think that flag should have been flown at half staff. Do you think his body should have been flown on Air Force Two? Do you think he should have posthumously be given the Presidential Medal of Freedom?
Which, of course, we automatically know what Katie Couric thinks. Katie Couric thinks that his body should not have been flown on Air Force Two, that he shouldn't have received the Congressional Medal of Honor posthumously. So we know how she believes, but let me ask you, why? Because Charlie Kirk didn't agree with liberals? Everything they're saying about Charlie Kirk and all the race stuff and everything else is completely a lie. It's completely a lie. I mean, and so what's really a shame about all this is that Charlie Kirk was not only killed for his beliefs, he was killed for fake things people said about what he was saying. If you can imagine that.
I think some people felt that was perhaps over the top.
Yeah, well, we know Katie Couric felt that way, right? Because she used the term "some people." Some people say when a journalist uses that kind of terminology, when they say "some people say," that's them talking. Just so you know, I think you already know that, right? Yeah.
In terms of mourning someone like Charlie Kirk, how did you feel about that?
I'd say that was his choice and his prerogative, and that was really entirely up to him.
Did you have any issues now in hindsight over some of the things that Charlie Kirk said and some of the rhetoric he used during his life?
Yeah. By the way, when they also use this term rhetoric, which rhetoric comes from rhetorical, which is an ancient Grecian term, but nowadays liberals use rhetoric like it's some kind of slander. And so Katie Couric, I mean, I'm telling you what, she deservedly on Twitter was ridden like a rented mule. She was dragged through the mud, and people said awful things about her, which I'm sorry, she deserved.
I didn't agree with much of it. I didn't closely follow his specific kinds of views, but I did.
I'm sure you learned about them after his death, though.
No, I haven't done a deep dive on it. You know, I described.
I mean, what is this? Well, and plus you have John Fetterman on with you, who's a maybe even a controversial Democrat, and a one that is kind of thinking outside the box, and you're trying to drag him back into this mode where he's got to go and kiss your "I hate Charlie Kirk" ring. It's so weird.
I mean, we've all seen that terrible video. Perhaps if you've seen the actual video, I have. And it's like appalling. And that's part of the political violence. And from what I'm saying, it's like that's unacceptable. And engaging in a debate and views I strongly disagree on, that's part of the American democracy. And for me, it's that would never justify what's happened. And I just chose not to take the opportunity to argue his views after children lost his father in the most violent public way. I mean,
when you're listening to this and you're Katie Couric, it has to change you, right? I mean,
so that's, I would say the equivalent on the left might be, say, Mr. Piker. I strongly disagree with his views, but I'm appalled if something like that happened to him. Oh my God. I mean, that's, like we have to disagree in better ways where, you're going to solve it by shooting people.
Yeah. I mean, good for him. But boy, Katie Couric really, she was at rock bottom on that one. So there you go. And she got it on the internet, and that's just her problem, not mine. All right, you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Ashlyn, thank you so much. This Fancy Friday has been fun. You guys have been great. Thank you very much for listening to the show. Coming up next, Tony Colombo. Colombo and Company. Have a good one, everybody.
I just checked the events planned at Lit Cigar Lounge, so I'm planning a lot of time there. Top-of-the-line cigars, premium whiskey. Check out litstl.com and join me. Hey, and if we get hungry, Napoli Brothers Pizza and Pasta, just a few doors down. We can order from the menu, be at our table within minutes. Napoli Brothers Pizza and Pasta in Chesterfield Valley and Lit Cigar Lounge, litstl.com.
JC